There was a video of TOBORE on various different platforms where she was talking about the fact that Ebony Life Films do not have the copyright to her story, and they haven't credited her. Yes, there are quotes on the video, but I would have really loved to see the actual text messages. I'm personally not judging this based on eloquence or who spoke better in which video. I'm doing my best to base this on the facts. Do I think the Ebony Life Films covered their backs legally? Yes. Do I feel like there was some sneaky mess going on in the background? Perhaps. I really wanted to talk about MoAbudu and this whole situation with, I always forget her name, I think it's TOBORE Ovouorie. So basically right now there's like a fight for the rights to the amazing movie Oloture movie, an adaptation of her journalistic work and some of her life story, where she was trafficked whilst trying to investigate trigger warning, sexual trafficking in Nigeria. Now this whole thing has really been just exploding over the last few days. There was a video of TOBORE on various different platforms where she was talking about the fact that Ebony Life Films do not have the copyright to her story, and they haven't credited her, legally, and they haven't given her appropriate compensation, and she was asking for $5 million as compensation due to the breach of copyright.
Everything got scattered. I lost quite a lot. Relationship gone. Health got into a mess. You know what it means when you spend every of your savings to the last dime on therapy, on medication, on injections, even when money no dey.
Now her video was very emotional, talking about the fact that it's her life's work and somebody somewhere has just come and stolen it. MoAbudu, media mogul and my namesake, media mogul in Nigeria, founder of Ebony Life Films, various talk shows, productions, one of my inspirations actually. She's doing really, really well. She works with Netflix now and produces a lot of like short films and that kind of stuff. So Oloture was one of the movies that she has produced recently, and it came out in 2020, did really, really well. And, this lady has come out and said this is her story. She hasn't been compensated enough for what has happened and for the success that it has been. Now, MoAbudu now came out and made a video and basically came out with what I would call half receipts. She basically spoke about the fact that, they were friends, they had a good relationship, not friends before the movie, but they had a friendly rapport with one another. And even when TOBORE's father died, she sent her some money, 100,000 to be specific. And, when initially they made the agreement, it was meant to be that, Ebony Life Films was going to give TOBORE 5% of all the proceedings from the cinema tour, the cinema screenings. And as you would have it, COVID happened, lockdown happened, there was no more cinema screening. And so they took it to Netflix. Real quick transition. And basically she informed her that, okay, no more cinema or COVID, with now taking it to Netflix. And apparently Mo said to her, we're still going to pay you. We're still going to compensate you for your story. And apparently when the Netflix screening came out, TOBORE was nowhere to be found again. Apparently Mo was trying to contact her, couldn't contact her.
Recently, TOBORE started contacting our producers by WhatsApp and sending them horrid messages. To me, TOBORE's demands have become threatening, blackmailing, and extortionist in nature, and I do not respond to such methods. At this point, we decided that if she felt she had a legal case it could be better dealt with through the proper legal channels.
Now, as eloquent as I found Mo, it's not by eloquence that we decipher what's happened. I think legally, Ebony Life Films covered their back in terms of Premium Niger, where the original story was written. So apparently they obtained the copyright to the story and adapted it for the movie Oloture. And apparently even there was a private screening that was done for TOBORE to see the movie. She approved it and everything. Now, they've covered their back legally, but I don't know, I smell a rat. I don't know about you guys. Like I said, it's not by eloquence. I think this is yet another situation where a young creative, they've pulled the wool over her eyes. They've done things legally because the person didn't know better. So their backs are covered technically, but in terms of morally, I'm not sure whether this was done correctly. When things moved to Netflix, the contract should have changed directly to 5% of the Netflix proceedings as well, I believe. And also, the receipts that MoAbudu brought out, I questioned them a lot because, yes, there are quotes on the video, but I would have really loved to see the actual text messages, screenshots of what was the dialogue that was going on between them. TOBORE came out and responded to this whole thing and said, basically, you know, they lying, they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes, da 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 da. And I find it very interesting that neither of them have commented on the supposed money that MoAbudu was meant to give her after, in a sense of, was that ever received? I would like that clarified. I don't know why this wasn't more legal. A whole Netflix movie, it shouldn't have been a take. It should have been 5% of what we get on Netflix as well. Yeah, I just think it was very interesting how the whole thing transpired. And I think it's quite similar to the Kiki Modi and Oge situation, whereby I feel like that was also very sensitive. And also maybe the fact that, you know, Kiki knew more than Oge in terms of the business. Maybe Oge was a bit naive. She didn't know how to ask for what this thing was worth. She didn't anticipate the success of the movie. Similarly with TOBORE, maybe she didn't anticipate the success of what Oloture was going to be, which she have asked for even more than 5% at the time. I'm personally not judging this based on eloquence or who spoke better in which video. I'm doing my best to base this on the facts. I would like some more facts established in terms of, okay, so you said you were going to pay her even though it didn't do the cinema run. So where was the money? Because even though Mo said she couldn't reach her, fair enough, but she still had her account details, because if she had sent over 100k before for her father's burial, then she had those details enough to send over the money for, you know, the story compensating her, even if it wasn't the 5% of the Netflix deal. Although I really strongly feel like, you know, if due diligence was being done with this, then there should have been a direct transfer or a change of contract to state that she would then get X% amount of the Netflix deal, because, you know, surely that's integrity. It seems like TOBORE is not backing down in terms of what's going to happen next. She's still taking things very seriously and like very, very, very legal. Apparently at the time that this was all going on as well, her lawyer advised her not to do any like press releases, so she wouldn't kind of be co-signing or handing things over by showing like a united front, if that makes any sense. Apparently the producer or the director, his name is Kenneth something, I'll put it right here. He worked on the film with MoAbudu, and apparently he only knew about the movie from 2 weeks prior shooting. I'll actually read the excerpt from what she said about this, because apparently he was actually warned not to take it on based on where it came from. Yeah, Kenneth Gayung. MoAbudu said that she's been harassing Kenneth Gayung and he's had to deal with daily and weekly harassment. And apparently it's false. She says, October 4th, 2020, Kenneth Gayung confessed in the published Premium Time story that he became aware of the Oloture story 2 weeks before the release of the film. A film director whom I had worked with on a 30-minute documentary on the same story in 2016 told Kenneth the actual source of the story and warned him of the consequences. Now, she wants the credits to be changed changed in terms of the open and end credits of the movie to be re-edited to be as follows. This film is largely based on events which happened to a Nigerian investigative journalist in a 2014 published investigative story, and the end credit to be, this film is an adaptation of the West Africa undercover inside of human trafficking mafia, an investigative story by TOBORE OVUORIE, published by ZAM magazine, Netherlands, on 22nd of January 2014, and subsequently by Premium Times Nigeria. I personally respect MoAbudu's work, love what she's done with Ebony Life Films, and do I think the Ebony Life Films covered their backs legally? Yes. Do I think they acquired the rights for this legally? Absolutely. Do I feel like there was some sneaky mess going on in the background in terms of acquiring this and not paying the girl what this was worth? Perhaps. I do think something else is going on underneath the surface that we're not kind of being let in on from both sides, actually, because like I said, I would like to know what happened with the last money that she said she was going to dash her just to say thank you. Why wasn't that sent? Was it sent? I would like to see the actual receipts, not, you know, quotes from the alleged conversation. I would like to see the actual receipts. Apparently, TOBORE has been actually blocked by MoAbudu on social media since last year as well, that all of this palaver has been going on. You guys let me know what you think about this. If it is the case that this work has been stolen, I think it is important for TOBORE to keep fighting. There's this phrase in Yoruba, "Wọ́n fi ọwọ́ ọlá gbá mi lójú," where sometimes the rich, they get away with things because they have money and they can pay their way through some of the shady deals they do. It would be really sad to find out if that was the case in this situation. I do think that due diligence needs to be done to this case. So it's not always, you know, the rich winning based on their rich and eloquence of speech. Because some people were just impressed based on the fact that she could speak English well. But it's like, what are the facts, you know? Let's not get carried away now. What do you guys think of this? Do you feel like MoAbudu and the Ebony Life Films crew acquired all the rights to this movie and did their due diligence in terms of legal activity, legal obtaining of the copyrights to the Oloture story, which was, you know, TOBORE's original investigation? Do you feel like they've actually pulled the wool over TOBORE, the journalist's eyes, and stolen her work? Do you think that this is more of a thing of sentiment versus legalities of things? Or do you feel like TOBORE herself was being naive and wasn't smart enough to demand something better from the deal and so got burnt? And that's all I really have for you guys in terms of Chit Chat with Mo, the first Chit Chat with Mo. Do make sure if you liked it, share with your friends, and also subscribe to this channel for more. Until next time, guys, peace and love, peace and chunks. I'm now going to go over to give you guys a life update. So that's a more intimate Chit Chat with Mo.